Good evening to everyone. Good evening to you all. Welcome to Life Enhancement and Development Live. I am your host, Dr. Cassandra Washington, and it is a pleasure indeed to be with you all again. It has been a minute, and it has been some awesome things and some challenging things that have been going on, but I am so excited to be with you all again in this new year, 2023. And to all of you, let me say Happy New Year. I pray that this is a prosperous and victorious year for you. Well, we have an awesome show lined up for you on tonight. But before I get started, I just want to take the time to pay tribute to my beautiful niece who transitioned on December the 2nd, 2022, Zarika Chase Washington. We love her dearly. We will miss her. And this is one of the challenging things that I experienced in 2022 in the midst of all the highs and the mountaintops. Of course, there were some low moments, and this was one low moment for me. But I just want to pay tribute to her, to who she is, how she impacted our family, how she impacted her community, and the beautiful nephews that she brought into our family. And I want to say thank you to everyone who prayed for us, who's supporting us and encouraging us, and keep lifting us up, because this was a devastating loss for us. But we're moving forward to live life. And we are just appreciative for the 36 years that we had her with us. Well, as I stated on tonight, we have a great show lined up for you. Tonight, we're going to be talking about mission accomplished, appreciating the journey. And to share with that discussion with me on tonight, I have a very familiar person with me that you all know about, and her name is Bernadette Hicks-Kelly. She is a transformation coach, and she is the CEO of Effective Transformation. And I'm going to allow her the moment and opportunity to greet everyone. How you doing, lady?
I am awesome. Happy New Year to everyone. I am excited. I am on fire this year. I'm pumped and ready to go. Yes, this is my year. This is my year to just go crazy, Cassandra. So I think my theme this year, if it's anything, is stepping in boldness. So that's my theme. Then you're going to see that all the time, is stepping in boldness or moving in boldness. So that's my word, is boldness.
All right. That's awesome. I like that, moving in boldness, stepping into boldness. You know, when I opened up, I was talking about, how we're going to be discussing mission accomplished.
Yes.
Appreciating the journey while moving forward toward the things that we want to accomplish. And last year when we did a live in 2022, in January 2022, we said, we talked about what our focus was going to be, and we said that our focus was going to be on accomplishments. Now let's talk about the reason why we said that we were going to focus on accomplishments instead of resolutions.
Okay. So we said accomplishments because with resolutions down through the years, if you've lived any time, I'm sure we all have done resolutions. I remember being younger and saying, okay, this is my resolution. And when I think about that, Cassandra, again, following the crowd, we're doing things because other people were doing things, and we're saying that because other people were saying it. So I myself, was doing the same thing, saying, I'm gonna make a resolution. And what I find is I would promise myself I was going to do all these things. The end of the year, I'm not even going to say the end of the year. I saw this commercial where day 4, someone had already dropped off on the resolution. That was me by day 4, maybe day 2. I don't know. But I know I would set all these things. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to lose 20 pounds in 30 days. I'm going to get up on a jog every day. The day it get cold or the day it rain, that's it. It's over. That jog gone. Okay.
I know what you mean. Right.
Resolutions wasn't working for me. And so I found that if I could write down the things that I really wanted to accomplish, and I didn't even do it in like 30 days or 60 days. I narrowed it all the way down to just one day. What are the 1 or 2 things I want to accomplish today? I realized I was getting those things done. So that became my new go-to is I want to just deal with what I'm going to get accomplished in that day. I'm not even
Mhm.
trying to look past 30, 60, 90. Yes, we can plan for those things, but that's on my plan. But when I talk
Mhm.
about what am I really going to do, that's my accomplishment for that day.
Mhm. And it caused you to think differently, didn't it? It caused you
Absolutely.
to move differently. It caused you, it really motivated you to action.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Right, because
Because
when
if I
I
didn't,
go
go ahead.
ahead.
Because if I didn't do it, then I had those conversations with myself. And so
Mhm.
let's talk about that. I would schedule some time to have some conversations with myself.
Mhm.
And I did that because I kind of put my life the same way I run projects. So if I'm a project manager, at the end of the day, I schedule time where I can get my team together and I want to
Mhm.
know what did you accomplish today? You know, we have this whole spreadsheet and I'm going down the spreadsheet and each one is what we call signing off. Sign off
Mhm.
on what you accomplished and what you did. So I was like, you know what? If I hold other people accountable to that, then I should hold
Mhm.
myself accountable to that as well. So that's what I did. If I said I was going to get these two things completed around 2 o'clock, I set an hour for myself to have a conversation with me from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock to say, okay, did you get these things
Mhm.
accomplished? And if I didn't,
Mhm.
that was my hour window to get them accomplished. So yeah, you got to schedule
Right,
some
right.
time with yourself.
Exactly. And when I thought about accomplishments, it put me in a different frame of mind. And it kind of pushed me because I said I want to accomplish this.
Mhm.
And so therefore I knew in my mind that this is something that I had to have done or have it
Yes.
completed. And so it made me think differently. It put me in
Mhm.
a different attitude and a mode of action because I did not want the end of the year to come and I have not attained this. And I basically put like the top three things. I made a vision board and
Mhm.
I put the things on my vision board that I wanted to accomplish. But there was some things that I specifically focused on
Yeah.
that I knew that I wanted to have done by the end of the year. So saying accomplishments put me in a different frame of mind, and it really motivated me toward those things.
That's excellent. So that you also give yourself certificates. You know how we have our team, they accomplish something, we give them a certificate. I think you got to have a way to reward yourself. Now, for me, in the past, I would go get a pair of shoes, go get a new
Mhm.
outfit. So, I don't do those things as much as I used to, especially with
Mhm.
me working more from home. So it's like, you know what? I don't need a whole lot of shoes. I don't need a
Uh-huh.
whole lot of outfits. So what I found that works for me is I still want to reward myself now. So
Mhm.
I print off me some certificates and saying, hey, you accomplished this. You got to find those things that reward you and keep you motivated. And so that works for me, is to be able to print off my own certification, my own certificate, and say, I'm proud of you. I'm
Well,
proud
that's a good idea.
of
That
you.
is a good idea. But one thing that I did do, my family and I, we did it together. We met once a month on a Sunday, on Sundays, on every third Sunday, once a month at 6 o'clock. And so we would share the things that, small steps, small goals that we attained toward the big thing that we wanted to accomplish. And we will, give each other accolades, and we will applaud each other, encourage each
Wow.
other. And what it did was motivate everyone else. If someone accomplished something, it motivated everyone else
Yes.
to do and to go forward. And yeah, I can do that. Now you did not tell me how you did that. Tell me, what did you do? So
That's
it was
awesome.
exciting.
And you know what? I know that works because I was talking to my niece over the holidays and she does makeup. And I knew that was not my calling. I was just trying to
Uh-huh.
move in my calling. So I was like,
Uh-huh.
okay, I can't do makeup. But I was like, Tori, tell me what I can do. I said, I want to do the coaching and the motivational speaking. I was like, but how are you making money at? So she explained to me the word we use, consistency. She was
Mm-hmm.
like, Auntie, I'm telling you, all you have to do is be consistent. She was like, if you be consistent, you're going to see
Mm-hmm.
that you will start making money. So I tried it. Now, Cassandra, I was so proud of my $2. Girl, you would have thought I had $1 million pending. I went on that line and that thing said $2 pending. I was like, $2. I got $2 pending. I was so excited. Girl, you would have. I think I told you about it, Cassandra.
Yeah, you
I
did.
was so excited. I was so excited because this is something I start off and wouldn't be consistent, or do a
Mhm,
little bit and wouldn't finish up, or start. You know how we do. We start off really
mhm,
really good, and then
mhm.
the fire just burn out because life started happening. And
Right.
again, one of my accomplishments that I wrote down for 2023, that I was going to start getting on social media. I was going to be consistent. I didn't care if I posted one thing. I was going to do
Mhm,
something. And so I
mhm.
started doing that. And when I went on that, and I was just looking around trying to figure some things out. And when I saw that $2, girl, I was so excited. I'm telling you, I said, "Oh, I'm pumped now." So you can imagine if I get on there and see $100, I would probably just go crazy, right?
Well, you know what? Don't despise not the small beginnings. Don't celebrate the small beginnings. So and that is great because we did accomplish some great things in 2022. Of course, there was some ups and there was some downs. Um, and one of the things that I had on my vision board to accomplish was my PhD.
Yes, that's
And
right.
in December 2022, I graduated with my PhD.
That is
And another thing that I
awesome.
had was what else did I that I wanted to get my license for social work.
Yes.
And
And you got both of those
in August of 2022, I received my license as a master social worker.
Get
Social worker for my
out.
master's degree. And then I had on there a vehicle. Do you
What?
not know that I have the exact vehicle that I posted
Wow.
on my vision board? So those things are it was just awesome to me. It was just
Yes.
awesome to me
Yes.
just to see and some of the things, some at one point I didn't even realize that I had done all those
Absolutely.
things. And when I looked at my vision board, I was like, oh my goodness, I
Yes.
did
Yes.
this, I did that, I did this, I did that. And I constantly had it where I could see it, where
Mhm.
I,
Mhm.
constantly worked toward it. I did small things. Now in 2022, I told you we had some ups, we had
Yes.
some mountain highs. Those was mountain highs for me, but
Mhm.
I also had some times when I was in the valley.
Exactly. You're gonna have some valleys.
I had
Exactly.
some valleys on the journey to those accomplishments. I
Yes.
had some
Yes.
valleys. Do you think sometimes we lose sight of what we want to accomplish because the journey doesn't look like what we imagine it to look like? Because some of the things that happen, those valley moments, I did not think, never thought that those things would happen. But I had to work through those things. And I was like, now I didn't, you should, you encouraged me and gave me the promise that I was going to do these things. You didn't tell me about.
Yes. The valley, the valleys, the valleys, the valleys. I just got to keep saying the word the valleys. When
Mhm,
you are in the valley, it is easy to lose sight. And
mhm,
I have learned that when I put it out there of what I
mhm,
want, I stopped in my mind creating the process, because
mhm.
I don't know what the process is going to be.
Right. Mhm,
So when I
mhm,
put it on my prayer board, or I put it on my vision board, and I have both. I have a prayer board and I have a vision board.
mhm,
I don't even think of what the process is going to be anymore, because just
mhm.
what you're saying, you will be so disappointed and so heartbroken when you get there, and it's more difficult than you thought it was going to be. The
Mhm.
first thing I would tell someone is, do not look at someone else's process and think
Yes.
that's going to be your process. That,
Mhm.
that's not going to be, you're going to be very, very disappointed. So the thing I can tell you to do, and advice I would give someone, is decide what you want. And
Mhm,
we'll use house buying, for example. Decide what you want when you want to purchase a home. If you made up your mind, 2023, this is my year, I'm going to purchase a home. Don't
mhm,
ask Aunt Betty. Don't ask Mother Dear, Grandma. Don't ask none of those people how
mhm.
house hunting and purchasing went for them. Put it
That's
on
right.
your vision board, put it on your prayer board, get your agent, and you start working with the loan officer, and that's what you do. Matter of
Mhm.
fact, this is the real advice I would give you: move in silence.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Move in silence.
We're gonna get to that.
Okay.
We're
So,
going to get to that.
so sometimes, Cassandra, we in the valley because we talking too much.
That's exactly right.
This right here.
Mm-hmm. It's powerful.
Yes.
Powerful.
Yes,
Powerful.
yes, yes. So while you think you are being creative by speaking it out loud, yes, but find that you need to speak it out loud to yourself in your own room. You know, if you're married, speak it out to you and your spouse. But everybody else, leave everybody else out of it right now. And let me tell you what's going to happen. I like to prepare people. So then it becomes the people who think you owe them something begin to say, well, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me you were going to buy a house? Why did you go get a new car and you never said anything? Why was it a secret? It's not a secret. It's not a secret. We are maturing. So as you mature in life, you learn, don't talk so much.
That's right. Exactly.
Don't talk so much. And so it's not that I wasn't telling anyone, or wasn't that I was trying to keep a secret. We got to know when things are personal and when we need to move in silence. And some things, and sometimes when you're making a big purchase or making a big move, you need to move in silence, because as my mother say, everybody grinning not happy. Everybody grinning your face not happy for you. So you praying one thing and they praying something else. But if they don't know, then you just,
That's exactly right. That's right. So you were using the example of a house. And I remember one of your videos you did this past week. You were saying start again, start again. Don't let what happened in 2022
yes,
cause you not to yet pursue what it is that you desire, that you want. So we yet have dreams and visions and goals that we want to accomplish. I know that I do.
yes.
What main characteristics, tools, life skills do we need to prepare ourselves for how we need to respond mentally and physically when we have challenges, or when we encounter things, those stressors that try to distract us or get us off track?
Focus. Focus is the number one thing that we have to master. We have to master how to focus. If we can learn to focus, it changes everything else. The reason we get off track a lot of times is we're not focused. And for me, again, I self-talk. When I talk to myself, if I'm off focus and I'm into some other stuff that ain't got nothing to do with me, I remind myself, Bernadette, mind your own business. Mind your own business. And so what happened, we get pulled into other people's stuff. And when we get pulled into other people's stuff, and I'm going to talk about finance because I love to talk about people money, my money, your money too. And so what happened is when you get pulled into people's stuff, guess what else come along with it? Your bank account. So when we're talking about purchasing a house, making financial decisions, not being debt free, we probably could have been debt free in 2022 if we go back and look. But because we got pulled into other people's stuff, not minding our own business, what happened is my mind went over there, my physical went over there, and my checkbook went over there. But in 2023, if I'm going to give you some good advice, mind your own business. And so when people call me and ask me, and it's already started, I said, not this year, minding my own business. I don't want to know the story. I don't want to hear the story. I am minding my own business. You know why I'm minding my own business, Cassandra? I purchased a home, and me and my husband got a 5-year plan to pay this home off. Well, this home is $500,000. I got 5 years to come up with a plan to pay off a $500,000 house. Now, I can't be in Cassandra's business, my sister Rosie's business, Tina's business, Jesse's business, Robert's business, Benita's business, and I'm calling all my brothers and sisters. I can't be in their business. I can't be in my neighbor's business. I can't be across the street in somebody else's business. I mind my own business. And so that's number one, is we lose focus. And when we lose focus, we worry about, well, John called me 3 days ago and he said he don't have a job and I got to try to help him get a job. And mind your own business.
Mm-hmm.
Mine, I'm not saying don't help.
Right.
You need to help, but you gotta find some time. What's my help time? So
Mm-hmm.
my help time is gonna have to be on the weekends, but 9 to 5, that's going to have to be my focus time. Like, okay, what am I working on? How am I going to grow this business?
Mm-hmm.
What's my next contract? And more importantly, I have to consistently educate myself. My career requires me to consistently
Mm-hmm.
educate myself. So I got to be reading something. I got to be building my mind up, and I got to work on this body, girl. I work on this body.
No.
I just don't wake up like this. I got to work this. Sandra, girl. There was a time 20 years ago, I probably woke up like this. I ain't waking up like this no more. So I gotta work on it, girl.
I know. And you talk about minding your own business, and then you talked about being consistent. And of course you got to believe. You
Yes.
got to believe, you got to be consistent. And talking about helping, you have to know who you can help.
Yes.
And you have to know when you can help. And then
Yes.
you have to know if you should help.
Exactly. 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 And these are things I've learned. I have learned this, because we're taught from children, we're taught to give, 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 give.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow we miss the stage of receiving.
Mm-hmm.
And we go through the stages where even as children, the schools and all of this, elementary
Mm-hmm.
school, they like, well, share with your neighbor, share with your sister,
Mm-hmm.
share with your brother, share with the people across the street, share with your friends. But at what point does someone say, okay, stop? You don't have enough to share right now. Stop.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're not careful, we take our childhood things that we learn, we bring those things over into adulthood, and we don't know when to pull the reins in. And so
Mm-hmm.
then we are still sharing when we don't have to share. We don't have enough to share. And we still got that silly smile. I call it a silly smile because you're really not happy. You just smile because that's what you think you should do. And then you go in the back and you having a whole cry breakdown moment. And then what do you do when there is nobody for you to call?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
When there's nobody to call that you can call and say, hey, my rent is due. Can you give me $500? But you done gave Janie Joe all of your money. Who you gonna call? Who you gonna call, Cassandra? Who you gonna call?
Most of the time you
Jesus.
look around, you can, that's the only one, because you can, those people that you help, you can most of the time you can't go to those people.
Because most of the time, if they came to you, they don't have it to return to you. So you got to find that balance. And the reason I'm talking about finding the balance is even with ministry. If God is telling you, okay, I need you to move into ministry, you got to become a good steward of everything in your life. Mine is mastering my time. I have to be a good steward of my time. If I'm not a good steward of my time, I will be up 24 hours just trying to answer emails and phone calls. I have to be a good steward of my time and say, you know what, I can't answer everybody's call. I can't answer everybody's email. I can't attend everybody's event. I'm real cautious of my time. And now in 2023, I've added something else to make sure I'm getting enough rest. So you can call me. I'll be like, girl, I was taking a nap. I was asleep. So I've gone back to turning that phone off. I remember when I first got my phone, it was nothing for me to turn my phone off. I turned that phone off. And so now that's my new thing is rest, turn the phone off. And when I say turn the phone off, it doesn't mean I turn the ringer off because, we have children, we have families, we need the ringer on. But I will tell everybody I am taking a nap. If there's an emergency, this is who you need to call. If I have not sent you that text, that means I am not your emergency contact. So only the people that I am their emergency contact should be contacting me. If it's for any reason you can't reach me, this is who you need to be calling.
Right.
Other than that, and that's what we have to do. I'm setting my life up for who I'm becoming. And I love that book, even though I haven't had a chance to read it. Michelle Obama wrote Becoming Michelle. Well, I'm becoming. And so in the process of becoming, I'm acting out as the person I am becoming. I am becoming the person that you can't always reach. I am becoming the person that you can't always get in touch with. So you know what? Let me assist people to help become with me. Let me help you become my friend. Let me help you become my assistant. Let me help you become my associate. So that you understand When
Mm-hmm.
you can't get me on the phone, we still good.
Mm-hmm.
When you can't get me by email, we still good. But you got some people, you got to help them come to this place.
Exactly, exactly. And I love, that's I love that you were saying that you have to be you have to be a good steward.
Yes,
And I like to say an excellent steward of
absolutely.
your time, of your money, of your gifts, of
Yes,
your body. You have to be a good
that's
steward. When
it's
you realize that this body that we were given is for you to be an excellent steward and
absolutely,
manager. It will make you think differently when you get ready to put something in your mouth that you shouldn't eat.
absolutely.
It will make you think differently when you get ready to spend your money. This has been given to me to be a steward. And
Absolutely.
when you're not a good steward, then you can't be trusted.
Exactly.
You
And you know
can't be
how I
trusted
started
anymore.
looking at that, Cassandra? I started, I'm visual. I have to
Mhm,
compare everything to
mhm,
something. I got to see something. And I go back to the story in the Bible where the man talked about he had the one talent. And, we talk bad about that man. It's like, he put it in the ground. He didn't do nothing
mhm,
with his talent. He was just sorry. I got one body.
mhm,
Am I doing right by this one
mhm,
talent? This one right here.
mhm,
Or am I not being a good steward? Because we talk about, he wasn't a good steward, he wasn't
mhm,
productive, he didn't do all this. Well, if I compare myself to him and his one talent with me and this one body, me and this one mind, am I being a good steward?
mhm. And that's
I'm
the
not.
question.
Yeah.
And what has really been impressed upon me lately in probably the past year or so is time.
Hmm.
Time. If you do not value time, you're not going to value money.
Nope.
If you do not value time, they used to say, have that saying, time is money. And
Right.
it's a cliche,
Yes.
but time,
It's
if
money.
you don't know how to, if you don't value time, then you're going to miss out on a whole lot of things. You're going
Absolutely.
to realize a deficit in a lot of things. A person who does not value time, they're not dependable. You can be gifted as all get out. You can be so gifted, you can be so talented. But if you show up late for everything, every time, nobody can depend on you because you don't value time, stressing people out because you don't show
And
time.
then have a reputation of that.
Yes,
That'd be the other thing. So when people are saying that, that's who you are. You can
yeah,
say all day long, I'm always on time. That's not who I. If more
yeah.
than one person is saying that's probably who you are. You just
Mhm,
have to accept. You know what? Maybe I am doing that. I'm not intentionally doing that, but
mhm,
maybe that's what's happening. We could blame everything on Atlanta traffic if we wanted to.
mhm,
We could say, with so much
mhm,
traffic, if you live in Atlanta at this point, you better get up an hour early
mhm,
and get out the door at least an hour and a half early to get to wherever you want. Because so many companies even started saying that. They was like, no, and I don't want to hear about Atlanta traffic. Get
mhm,
to work on time. And
mhm,
that's how we have to be about everything. I don't want to hear about, you woke up, the lights was out.
mhm.
No, you're going to have to get to work on time or get to your appointment on time. Or even if something as simple, if you're not
Mhm,
even being paid, but you volunteered, get there on time.
mhm,
I'm gonna get there early because
mhm.
first of all, as you, Cassandra, know, and all my dear friends, I have zero sense of direction, so I'm gonna need that GPS to get this thing right. Okay, I got to give time to get my cup of coffee.
Mhm,
I got to give time to fight with this GPS. So this GPS either got to be spot on, or I'm gonna need
mhm.
at least 30 minutes to fight with this GPS and be fussing like, why'd you turn that way?
Right.
So I'm
Mhm,
gonna leave early. I have to leave early because I have to have that peace of mind, and I don't like rushing into somewhere. So if I got an appointment, I don't want to be running. That happened to me recently where I was in another state, didn't know where I was going, and at
mhm.
the last minute, I'm looking at it, it's like, oh, you guys changed the meeting to another office outside the building I'm in. I was like, oh, they don't know. Jesus forgive them, they don't know. I was like, because I already called them and told them, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be late. I can tell you now, I don't know where you are. I don't
Mhm.
know how far away you are from me. And I'm just getting this address. I said the GPS got to work like a miracle. And so sure enough,
Mhm.
when I got there, it wasn't far, but you ever had those places where multiple buildings and then
Mhm.
the sign is this small. So I'm
Uh-huh. Yes.
turning and
Mhm.
the GPS just quit. So I just stopped. I just give up. You know, you're doing what you want to do. So
Mhm. Exactly. I know what you're talking about.
so it took a minute for me to find to go through a building. It's like, oh, you got to come through the building, and then when you'll see the number.
Yes, indeed. Let's talk about these last two these two characteristics
Okay.
to be able to handle, when things come along your journey that you're not that you weren't expecting. Your attitude,
Oh
how
my
you
God.
respond,
Yes.
your attitude, how you respond, and responding in your feelings. Your
That,
emotions, Vicky Winans sang this song, "No more will I let the enemy fool me, my earthly mind rule me."
yes.
My emotions, when things happen, we respond out of our emotions.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying that sometimes things happen and won't catch you off guard. I'm not saying don't cry, don't be upset, don't be angry. But how do you manage that? Because if you fail to manage, you live by your emotions and have a bad attitude, you sabotage yourself.
You consistently sabotage yourself.
Hmm.
Consistently. So again, that's that countdown moment I talk about. Is when you see something that you don't like. Like I get a lot of crazy emails. I mean, when I say crazy emails, sometimes they be crazy, and it's a turn the head to the side. Like a lady said, I'll use it today as an example. We was having a discussion, and this lady sends an email in all caps, all caps.
Ooh,
Anybody anybody that should be anybody, no, do not send an email in what? All
all caps.
caps. And so I know the character of my manager. So I immediately call her and say, do not respond to that email. I'll respond to that one. Because I
Hmm.
already know how she was going to respond.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, no, do not. And so I picked up the phone and I called her. She said, well, why did she respond in all caps? I said, see, this is what I'm talking about right there. Your voice is already high because just you didn't even read what she said. The fact that she responded in all caps made you angry. And so now you're ready to respond in anger.
Mm-hmm.
And she's another person I'm working with. So I said, get up, walk away from your computer, come back to your computer and read it again.
Mm-hmm.
The lady wasn't angry. She was just answering a question. And I said, she probably isn't a good typist. And so
Mm-hmm.
she's just typing in all caps. But
Mm-hmm.
but because she was responding to an
Mm-hmm.
ongoing email, it immediately looked like she was going off.
Mm-hmm.
She all of a sudden chimed in. And I was like, step away, be from. And so I can tell people that advice because I take my own advice. So when I see that, and even if it is something bad and it's in all caps or red or whatever, because you read emails according to how you're feeling at that
Uh-huh.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
If you're already irritated, you can tell me the sun is shining. I'm upset. Well, why are you telling people the sun is shining? Who asked you if the sun is shining?
Mm-hmm.
You're reading emails according to how you feel. So
Mm-hmm.
the advice I tell people is learn to shut up. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I've learned to shut up. Normally I would want to say something back immediately. Well, two things has to happen. Don't shut down. Shut up
Yeah.
and shut down is two different things.
Yes.
Shut up and get your composure before you
Mm-hmm.
respond to anything.
Mm-hmm.
Don't shut down. Shut down means I don't care. Y'all just do whatever y'all want to. And then when it doesn't turn out right, now you upset, you offended. I would have never done it that way. Well, you shouldn't have shut down. You can't just shut down when things aren't going your way. So step back, and the only person you can control, Cassandra, is you. I'm the only person
Mm-hmm.
I can control. I can control none of these other people. Whatever they're doing, I can't control them. But what I can do is I can control me. And at the end of the day, I'm still going to look intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Mm-hmm.
not going to. Now, I can't tell you people have not taken me out of character. in my
Mm-hmm.
lifetime. But I
Mm-hmm.
have
You
learned,
learn from it. Mm-hmm.
don't let people take you out of character.
Mm-hmm.
When you see that when you as you say, run, just get
Yeah,
your
girl. Sometimes
run.
you have to walk real fast.
Walk fast, run, but do not lose your character.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make you act out of character, and be who you say you are. I tell people I'm a pretty intelligent person, so I don't want you to catch me on camera somewhere where I done curse somebody out, and that's what's going viral. They don't
Uh-huh.
find out about who the intelligent person was. Like, oh my God, I've lost it and went off on these people. I'm cursing
Mm-hmm.
these people out, and that's what they see. And I'm telling you, to fix a reputation is harder than to have a good reputation.
Then to
So
maintain. Mm-hmm.
yes, so the advice I would do is just maintain who you are. Are you going to get people that's going to lie on you? Absolutely. Don't be trying to chase it down. Be who you are, and whatever is said or whatever is done, let that be said, let that be done. Because you can't fix people. If a lie is a lie, you ain't gonna fix them. I promise you. You ain't gonna fix him. You ain't gonna fix her. You ain't gonna fix them. You ain't gonna fix they. It's
Mm-hmm.
not going to happen. The only person you can work on is 100% you. And so that's my advice. Work on you and
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you are not guilty of, that you have a bad attitude. And if you have a bad attitude, don't be, oh, that's just who I am. Fix who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Who I am is fixable. I hope I'm better, Cassandra, than I was yesterday. I hope I'm a better person than I was 3 months ago. I
Mm-hmm.
hope I'm a better person than I was 5 years ago. If I'm that same person, that means I'm not growing. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
maturing. People think that's cute to say, well, that's just who I am. That's
Mm-mm.
silly. That's
That's
silly.
it. Well, that leads me into, the next thing to talk about is what are some things that you learned from your journey in 2022 to accomplish to your journey for your accomplishments, because you were just talking about you hope that you are a better person, you hope that you have grown, because in pursuit of those accomplishments some things happen. And one thing that I have learned, or that was reiterated to me, or that I was reminded of, is that whenever you have a promise or accomplishment, you better believe some challenges getting ready to come.
Absolutely. Some
Some
challenges.
challenges are coming, and the way you wait and to know that this is a sign that you are close to whatever you're after.
Absolutely.
Don't let that, don't allow that challenge, or that or that issue, or that circumstance, or that obstacle deter you, because that is a sign that you are close to what you're going to accomplish. And secondly, it is to help bring out of you those qualities, or that character that God wants to build in you. So
Absolutely.
don't run. A lot of times I remember growing up, and my pastor used to tell us to sing in that song, Lord, don't move my mountain, but give me the strength to climb. Don't take away my stumbling block, but lead me all around. But sometimes he put that mountain is there for you to climb.
Absolutely.
That mountain is there for you to climb. And sometimes we think, I can't do that. But I believe if it comes in your path, yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
God would not allow you to experience something that He has not equipped you with the ability to overcome.
Absolutely.
And
And
so that's one thing that I was reminded of, and some of the things, and some things that I thought I wouldn't be able to handle.
mhm.
I found out, girl, you're pretty strong.
Absolutely strong. Like, I can do this. So for 2022, moving into 2023, again, I am finding that I need words. For my day, I need a word for my day. And
Mhm,
for my year, I chose a word. I
mhm,
chose, again, moving in boldness. And
mhm.
so, what I
Ooh,
remember. So when I get up, no matter what comes, that's my reminder to myself is move in boldness today. No matter what, you're going to move in boldness. And so that boldness may mean I got to make calls that I don't necessarily feel comfortable making. I got to make decisions that I don't feel comfortable making. If I need to end a contract, I'm going to end this contract because I'm doing what's best for me. It's going to take boldness for us to make those moves. As they say, shakers, if you're going to be a shaker in 2023, you're going to have to make some bold moves. And so that's my thing for 2023 is move in boldness. And, that's what I'm going to do. That will be my word for anyone this year is move in boldness. As you said earlier, the time, if you pay attention to time, 2020 came and went, 21, 22, even though there was a pandemic, all of that happened. But if you didn't do anything in that time, you lost that time. So 3 years gone and you accomplished nothing. So if you were too bold to say, I don't care if it's a pandemic, I don't care what it is, I'm still going to start my business. I don't care if they're saying you got to wear a mask or whatever. I'm still going to go in this bank and get this bank account open. I'm still going to go try to get some contracts. I'm still going to do what I need to do. Whatever your business was, people took boldness to quit their jobs. They quit their job and have not gone back. And so you have the 9-5 people, even when they call me and they're talking about, I need some staff or whatever, that's their conversation. Well, what are people doing? How are they not working? They're trying to figure it out. How was they bold enough to just quit their job? And I'm not talking about just, a customer service or 9-to-5. You had executives, you had directors. It's so hard now to hire a director. People used to love to be managers. It's so hard now to get a manager because people saying, what, I'm not going to be stressed this year. I'm not going to be stressed anymore. I can go home. I can relax. And guess what? I can live on a whole lot less. So it's going to take boldness if you really want to accomplish anything. And that's my word this year. And that's who I am. I am going to move in boldness. And if you think that I have been crazy the last few years, as you said, my time, I'm way on the other side of 50 now. And so boldness, that's my word, is to really step out into boldness in everything I do. Every time I bring it, I got to bring it with all I have. There is a whole lot of, restarting or start again or do it again. I got to get it right the first time. And that's what I'm trying to do is get it right the first time. So that's what I would say that I got out of 2022. That's what I brought into 2023 is I have to have a word every single day. I have to have a word for the year. And my word for the year is move in boldness. So I would say get you a word for the year, be your own motivator. There's nobody to motivate you, to hold your desire, to hold your feet to the fire. You got to do that for yourself.
Exactly. You've got to be bold. You got to be bold. Yes. You talked about earlier, and I was just thinking about, come at the end of the year, what, my attitude going into 2023. And it's to make sure you was talking about becoming, make sure that my actions,
yes,
that my plans are aligned with who I know I am.
Absolutely.
And where I know that I believe and I know that I'm going. And one thing that I have been practicing over the past, especially during the month of December, because of what happened in my family, is quietness is powerful.
Absolutely.
Things are going on and we think we got to address everything. We got to talk about everything. We have to, be combative about everything. Silence and quietness is so powerful.
Absolutely.
Because when you do that, then you can hear. Being still, surrounding yourself. Sometimes, I just had 1 or 2 people that I could talk to.
But you said it before we was talking earlier. You said people talk too much. What did you say, Cassandra? I was talking to you earlier this week. You said people do a whole bunch of talking they ain't doing.
Girl, I just don't trust the person that talk all the time. Oh no! Why you got to keep talking? What are you trying to cover up? And you forget what you said. Please. Why are you talking so much? I don't trust the person that talk all the time. Just constantly. And then you got to have you got to respond about everything. Something is not right about that. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. No, you don't have to. Why do you feel like you have to constantly have something to say? Something is wrong there. I'm just sorry. Sharita Taylor said, that's right. You got to move in boldness. Move in boldness. That's right. Yes, indeed. But I've silence and being
Absolutely.
still and having that time, spending that time in prayer and meditation, and sometimes saying nothing is your best strategy.
It's the best strategy. And I'm going to say this, with Sharita making that statement. I remember, Cassandra, I would be concerned what people think,
Mhm.
well, what people are going to have to say. And you know how you read people, you read statements that people said, and they said, I read statements, whether it's Facebook or just written somewhere.
Mhm.
It was like, I don't care what people say, and you shouldn't care what people have to say about you. It's none of your business. And you know what? I thought about that. I said, you know what? I don't care what you think about. It's none of my business. If that's your thought, keep that thought to yourself. That's your thought, and you get to have whatever thought you want to have. But it is something about turning 40, as you said, and turning 50. And when we say, I don't care about what you think of me, it's so true. It's a life changing, it's a freeing moment when not
Mhm.
only do your mouth say I don't care, but when your brain say I don't care,
Mhm.
it's a whole nother place. I can't even explain it, except when you get to that freedom where you
Mhm.
can honestly say, I do not care about what people think about me. Now, I'm not talking about you doing something crazy and people
Yeah.
are making comments. I am talking about when you're sitting in your house or you're sitting in your bed and you're sitting somewhere and you're saying, well, I don't want to do this because what if Janice say this? Well, if I do this, I know Jack
Mhm.
don't have this. When you get to the point where you don't care if it's Jack, Jill, bump the heel, I'm telling you, it's a wonderful place when you can wake up and the only person you trying to please is you and Jesus. Like, it just please one person, just Jesus. And you please him, everything else is all right. I promise you it is. But I remember the day that I woke up and I didn't care no more.
Mhm.
I remember the day, I said I would listen to Benny Hinn quite a bit. And Benny Hinn would say some stuff and he would lean into the camera, Cassandra, and he said, I remember the day. I remember standing in the mirror and saying, I get it, Benny Hinn. I get it. Because
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
he leans into the camera and he said, I remember the day. And I'm telling you today, telling the whole world, I remember the day when I woke up and I didn't care no more. It's almost as freeing when you learn the word no.
Mhm.
It's as freeing as when you wake up and you say, I don't care about people's opinions. I don't care what you have to say. It no longer affects my life. It no longer affects what I'm going to do. It's a life changing place. And I think somewhere between 30, that's where you should be getting. By 40, you should definitely be there. By 50, I don't know what you're waiting on. I really don't. But somewhere in my 30s, I didn't care anymore. Like, I don't care what you think about me. What I do, like, especially when it doesn't affect you or doesn't help you or doesn't hinder you, but you're concerned about what I'm doing, you're concerned about what I'm saying, and you have something to say. Why? As you just said, why so much? Why are you talking about everything that someone else is doing? Why you care? Mind your own business in 2023. Mind your own business. I promise you will prosper if you mind your own business.
I don't know what happened, but we lost our connection for a few seconds there. But you know what? I know exactly what you're talking about because people going through rejection and going through people criticizing you and persecuting you, and then being ostracized and treated like
Yeah.
you're the problem. And I got to the point where I said, you know what? I don't have the energy to address you. I don't even want to I don't even want to expend the energy to address you. If you got a problem with who I am and what I'm doing, take it up with the one who told me to do it. I don't have time to address it. You take it up with him because I'm going to do and be who he said I am and do what he told me to do. Now, if you got a problem with it, you go talk to him about it. Don't talk to me because I
Exactly.
don't have time to address it. And I don't want to address
And
it.
I
And I
don't want to
really
address
don't
it.
care to address it.
All right, Benny, and I think you got it.
You know,
Lean into the camera.
I don't have the energy and the time because to me that's not important. I
Exactly.
cannot live my life based upon what you think. And then TD Jakes in his book is think, why is the giraffe paying attention to the turtle?
I saw that one. Yes, yes, yes. Like, why are you listening to the
And then uh, someone else said they were told, why are you listening to somebody broke?
turtle?
Why you listen to somebody that's not even nowhere near where you are,
Exactly.
and you're coming down? Then Nehemiah said, "I'm doing a great work. I don't have time to come down and deal with this
I don't even
foolery
have
that
time to
you
talk
are."
to y'all.
I
And
don't
then
even
come
have time.
down.
So we have to, you have to keep your focus, and you have to stay focused and not give into the chatter, give into the negativity, and some don't even say anything, don't even address it. Many times, a lot of times, that's the best strategy. And when we stay in that place of rest, stay in
Yes,
that place of trust, that I'm gonna let God handle this, or
yes,
that's your business. Whatever
exactly.
you feel, whatever you think, whatever you believe, that's your business. And I'm not going to take the energy to try to change it. You go take it up with the one who created me and who made me and told me to do it. So quietness and stillness is your best strategy. And not, like I said, I make sure that I have one or two good friends around me. I ain't got but two. Make sure that I have them around me and help them, let them keep me encouraged. And I'm talking about outside my family. I ain't got but two. you know real, that's consistent. That's
Yes.
my champion. That champions me, that encourages me. And I'm cool with that. I'm good with that. So
Yes.
we're coming to the end. So before we go,
Okay.
whatever you've given some advice as to how we can approach our goals in this year 2023. You said approach it with boldness.
Yes. And
Approach
so
it with boldness. Hmm.
I would approach it with boldness and approach it with focus. But the only way you can do this is in 2023, you're going to have to be who you say you are. You're going to have to figure out who you are early on in this year. Figure out who you are. You can't be no wimp and then saying you're going to be a winner. It ain't no wimp and winner. It's either you
Hmm.
a winner or you a wimp, but you can't be both. And you're gonna have to figure that out early on. It's like, wimp, they was had this little paper towel thing, remember? And Cassandra, and they would say wimpy, wimpy, wimpy. And
Hmm.
that means it didn't hold anything,
Yes.
it couldn't dry anything up, it couldn't do anything. So if you wimpy, 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 then you need to get some classes early on. And let's
Hmm.
get your strength built up. Let's get your character built up. Let's get your mind built up. But if at one point you can't be a
Hmm.
wimp forever, you're going to have to figure out at what point are you going to be strong, because you can't accomplish anything thinking that you don't have the answer, that you never have the answer. You can't always expect that the answer got to come from somebody else. You got to think that there's an answer inside of you.
Yeah.
You're smart enough. There's an answer inside of you. I remember being younger, needing a mentor, but at this point in my life, I can't be saying, well, I can't move forward until I get a mentor. I'm going to have a mentor work with me. I need a mentor. No, no, no. Look, sweetheart, I'm 50 plus. I ain't too many mentors. Okay.
It's time for us to mentor.
It's time for you to mentor. And I wouldn't have clients. They'd be like, look, every time we hear you talking, you were crying about you need a mentor and you telling me to sign up for a class. Do you know what you're doing or not? So
Hmm.
we're going to have to make up our mind that we are strong, and we're going to have to be bold, and you're going to have to focus this year. You can't be running all over the road and following
Hmm.
Tom, Dick, and Harry, and he don't know where he going. Get your mind together, regulate your mind, transform your mind, know where you're going, and start
Hmm.
moving. You can't be sitting out to me, I'm gonna pray about this, I'm stay on my knees a little while. Get up off your floor off your knees and start doing something. That's the answer right there. You can't somebody I'm still praying in tongues and fasting. No, you can start eating now. You're gonna have to get up and do something. So if you've been praying fasting since 2020, to much you starting a business and you still don't have a bank account or a business name, no.
I think a lot of time that fasting and praying stuff is an excuse,
Yeah,
procrastination
you
to keep
procrastinate.
them
That's
from
fear.
taking action, doing something.
That's
I
fear.
really do.
Yeah, fear done
Mhm.
moved in, and when fear moved in, he bring all his friends. Fear and he tell procrastination, come on, they got room for you too. Come on over here. They got because now you fearful, you procrastinate, and now you lying to yourself. So fear
Mhm.
came, procrastination, and lying. So all
Mhm.
of them came together. They got a room at your house. Put them out. Put them out.
Yes, indeed. And you know, one thing, I still have my accomplishments, my things that I want to accomplish, but
Yes.
I am focusing on what I have to do and who I have to be, what characteristics, what tools, what qualities do I need? Because you know, I said, you know what, who I am, and I'm going to go get me a new wardrobe
Exactly.
to go
Oh, girl, we
along
going
with.
together. We call me. We going together, honey.
You need to come so we go shopping. I'm going to
Yes.
get me a new wardrobe.
Yeah,
I'm,
and my
I'm, I'm
husband
going
and
to,
I was talking, and we said we're taking more vacations this year. I was
yeah.
like, you know what? We didn't vacation the last few years. So I said every 90 days I want to go on vacation. You
Yeah.
know, so I don't care what I'm working on, I don't care who I'm doing. I told him, I said, put on your calendar. Every 90 days we taking a vacation. Now, I don't
Mhm.
know who we need to talk to or what you need to do, but every 90 days we are taking a vacation. It's gonna take boldness for us to when we sign
Yes.
contracts. We got some contracts pending. We signed with the first thing we said. Well, in 90 days we're going on vacation, so you know to put that in. I don't know
Mhm.
what y'all got to do, but and the only way we take control of our life is take control of our life.
That's
Now
right.
you can't be afraid. You know, if a customer service working at McDonald's can say, "I quit, I ain't coming back," and they still surviving. Come on now. You should be at a point in your life where say, you know what, I quit. I'm not working 40, 50, 60 hours a year. I'm doing part-time, and that's going to be enough. Because sometimes that's all we need to do. We need
That's
to be
all we
working
need to do.
full-time ministry and working part-time. So maybe God's telling you, you know, work part-time. But it's going to take some boldness to say, don't ask me to work 40 hours. I'm not working 40 hours. I'm not working
Mhm.
60 hours. I'm not
Mhm.
working 80 hours. All I can give you is 20 hours. And if you can't handle 20 hours, this is not the place for me.
Yes. Well, there you have it. There you have it. So 2023, move in boldness and move in confidence in knowing who you are, what you have to offer, and valuing yourself. Value. If you don't value you, you can't expect anyone else to value you.
Yeah,
So, you know, we talked about the things that we accomplished this year. I got my whole, you know, I got the things from last year. And so I'm going to be working on, you know, the things that I still want to do and focus on getting myself prepared and
absolutely.
getting myself aligned with what I see and what I want to accomplish. And I want you all to do the same thing. Take this advice, you know, listen to, you know, we shared our stories, we shared our, you know, the things that we've gone through and what have worked for us. And we want to encourage you to do the same thing. So we plan to come back on next week. And we're
Absolutely.
going to share again because this year, moving in boldness, and you look, we're still talking about accomplishments. So we
Yeah,
want to encourage you to move forward in the things that you want to accomplish. Thank you all so much for joining us again this evening. And we hope that we have said something to encourage you, empower you, inspire you, motivate you to be changed and transformed. Good night, you all.
good night.